The front door slams shut behind her. Eliza stands in the snow, her hands clutching her swollen belly as pain surges through her body. She takes a breath, but it's no use. The cold air cuts deeper than the biting wind. Her chest tightens. Another contraction. Her head spins, but she stays on her feet, determined to endure. There's no one around. The snowflakes fall softly as if mocking her. Inside, Michael laughs, unaware of her suffering. She can hear the sounds of his friends, their voices filled with joy as they carry on with their Christmas Eve celebration. Her hands tremble as she knocks on the door, harder this time, but it's locked. The pain intensifies. Eliza places her hand on her belly, trying to breathe through it. This can't be happening, not like this. Another contraction hits. The world around her blurs. She bangs on the door again, frantic now, but nothing. The laughter inside continues, their voices like daggers in her ears. She wants to scream, to shout, but the pain consumes her. She falls to her knees, gasping for breath. The cold seeps into her skin, but it's nothing compared to the emotional coldness inside. Michael had locked her out. He had left her to suffer alone. He doesn't care, she thinks, her heart sinking deeper into her chest. She can't believe this is how it ends on a cold porch with no one to help her. The next wave of pain hits her harder. Her breath catches in her throat. She presses her hand to her belly, trying to steady herself. She's on the ground now, the snow cold beneath her. Her phone buzzes in her pocket, but she doesn't look at it. There's no point anymore. Michael is inside, enjoying his night, his party, his friends. No one knows she's out here. No one cares. Her hands are shaking. Another contraction comes and her body tenses. The pain is unbearable, but she forces herself to focus. I need to stay calm. I need to survive this. Her vision blurs, the cold making it harder to see clearly. But through the fog, she can still hear the muffled voices from inside, laughing, celebrating. She wants to scream at them, to demand help, but she knows it won't matter. Michael had made his choice. He'd locked her out. The truth settles deep in her bones. She is truly alone. Eliza's thoughts race. How had they ended up here? She had spent years building a life with Michael, thinking they were a team, a family. But now, on Christmas Eve, she was nothing more than an inconvenience to him. He had abandoned her. The thought stabs through her chest. But she doesn't have time to dwell on that. Another contraction comes, sharper, faster. Her breath quickens, and she feels the pressure building inside her. It's happening, she realizes with a start. She's about to give birth, alone in the cold with no one around. The baby moves inside her, a reassuring flutter, but it only reminds her of how helpless she feels. She glances at the door, still locked. Why is he doing this to me? But it doesn't matter. The pain is all-consuming now, and there's no way to escape it. The next few minutes blur together in a haze of pain and disbelief. Eliza clutches her belly, struggling to breathe as each contraction builds in intensity. She's on the ground, her knees sinking into the snow, and the cold is unbearable. But the physical pain is nothing compared to the emotional pain. Michael is still inside, still laughing with his friends. His betrayal stings like 1,000 needles, but she can't focus on that right now. The pain spikes again, stronger this time. She gasps, struggling to stay conscious. This wasn't supposed to happen like this. She wasn't supposed to be out here alone, giving birth to their child in the freezing cold. The tears well up in her eyes, but she doesn't allow herself to cry. There's no one to comfort her, no one to tell her everything will be okay. But it will be, she tells herself. She'll survive this. She has to, for her baby. Her breathing becomes erratic as another contraction hits. The pain is excruciating and she fights to keep it together. Focus, Eliza, she thinks. You're not alone. You can do this. The door is still locked and Michael is still oblivious. Her mind races with anger, confusion, and disbelief. How could he leave her like this? How could he not see that she needed him? But there's no time for those thoughts. Another contraction comes, and this one is worse than the last. She can feel the baby moving inside her, and she knows it's time. But where's Michael? Will he come to her side now? Will he care that she's about to give birth to their child alone on the porch? The thought gnaws at her, but she can't wait for him anymore. It's too late. The baby is coming, and there's nothing Eliza can do but breathe through it. The pain, the cold, and the isolation fade into the background as she focuses all her energy on bringing her baby into the world. Another contraction comes, and Eliza cries out in pain. But this time it's different. There's no fear, no anger, just a sharp primal need to survive. She's giving birth, and nothing will stop her. She pushes, her body trembling with the effort. The snow is cold against her skin, but it doesn't matter. Nothing matters except the baby. The baby that will soon be in her arms. The baby she's carrying alone in the cold. The contraction passes, and for a moment there's silence. But then another wave of pain crashes over her. She gasps, pushing harder this time. She's not alone anymore. She has her baby. She has herself, and she's going to get through this. The door is still closed, still locked, but it doesn't matter. She's doing it. She's giving birth to their child, and nothing can stop her now. Another scream rips from her throat, but it's not a scream of fear, it's a scream of strength. She's doing this for herself, for her baby. And when it's over, when the baby is finally in her arms, she knows this night will be a turning point. She has nothing left to lose. She is stronger than she ever thought possible. The door creaks open, and Michael steps outside, his face contorted in shock when he sees Eliza holding their newborn. He stumbles back, his eyes darting to the baby in her arms. For a moment, there's nothing but silence. "Eliza," Michael whispers, his voice thick with disbelief. But Eliza doesn't respond. She doesn't need to. There's nothing left to say. She watches him, cold and unfeeling, her arms still wrapped around their child. She's done. Done with the man who betrayed her. Done with the man who locked her out and left her to suffer. She rises to her feet, the baby cradled gently in her arms. "I'm done," she says, her voice steady. Michael opens his mouth to speak, but she doesn't give him the chance. She turns and walks away, leaving him standing there, stunned and alone. And just like that, Eliza has taken back her power. What would you have done if you were in Eliza's shoes? Do you think you would have forgiven him or walked away? Let me know in the comments below. The wind howls outside, but Eliza doesn't hear it. She's inside now, holding her baby close. Her hands shake, but not from the cold, from the weight of what just happened. Michael's face is still frozen in shock, standing in the doorway, but Eliza has no time for his confusion. She stands tall, her body trembling from exhaustion, but her eyes are steely, full of resolve. "You locked me out," she says, her voice low, but it cuts through the air like a knife. She's not asking for an explanation anymore. She doesn't need one. "You locked me out on Christmas Eve, and now look at what's happened." Michael opens his mouth to speak, but the words die in his throat. His gaze falls to the baby in her arms, the child that had come into the world despite everything. Despite him. The room is silent except for the sound of Eliza's breath, heavy and ragged. She's just given birth, without anyone, without help, and now she's looking at the man she thought she could trust. The man who betrayed her. A million thoughts race through her mind, but the only thing that matters is this moment, this truth. Michael doesn't deserve to be a part of her life anymore, not like this. She takes a step forward, the baby cradled against her chest. "I don't need you anymore," she says, her voice steady now. "I'm done." Michael's face pales, and he takes a step back, as if the words have physically struck him. But Eliza's already moving. She's done. She walks past him out of the doorway into the world that's suddenly so much bigger than her broken marriage. The cold air bites her skin, but Eliza barely notices. She walks with purpose, her steps quick, steady, as she heads toward her car. The baby sleeps in her arms, the warm bundle of joy that she's brought into the world alone. No one can take this away from her. No one can erase this victory. Behind her, the door opens again. Michael's voice calls after her, but she doesn't turn around. Eliza, wait. But she doesn't wait. She can't. She won't. The snow continues to fall around her, soft and quiet, as she walks toward the car parked on the street. Her phone buzzes in her pocket, but she doesn't check it. She knows who's calling. Michael, but she doesn't need him anymore. A sudden surge of anger rises in her chest. The nerve of him to think that he could lock her out, to think that he could take control of her life. Not anymore. She's done with this. She reaches the car and opens the door, the sound of the lock clicking in her ears. She takes a breath, glancing back toward the house one last time. This is it. She's leaving him, and she's leaving him behind for good. The drive is long, but Eliza doesn't mind. Her mind is consumed by the thought of what comes next. The life she's building for herself and her child. She's not sure what the future holds, but one thing is certain: she won't be walking into that house again. Not ever. Her hands grip the steering wheel tightly, but it's not fear that has her hands shaking now. It's resolve. It's the strength she's found within herself that she never knew she had. She's doing this for her baby, for herself. The world outside is a blur of streetlights and snow. Her thoughts are tangled, but her heart is clear. This is the right choice. She doesn't need Michael. She doesn't need anyone who doesn't believe in her, who doesn't have her back. She glances down at the baby in her arms, a soft smile tugging at her lips. I'll be enough for you. We'll be enough. And yet, even as she reassures herself, doubt creeps in. What if she can't do this alone? What if she's not strong enough? The thought lingers for a moment, but she shakes it off. She can't afford doubt. Not now, not when her future and her child's future are at stake. She pulls into a quiet parking lot, the headlights of her car illuminating the empty spaces around her. She parks, cuts the engine, and sits there for a moment, just breathing. It's been a long night, a long journey. But she's here now, away from the house, away from Michael. The baby stirs in her arms, and Eliza leans down, kissing the top of their head gently. She has so many questions, so many fears. But in this moment, none of them matter. She takes another breath, and for the first time all night, she feels a sense of peace. A weight lifts from her shoulders. She's free, free from the betrayal, free from the man who thought he could control her. Eliza knows this is just the beginning. There will be challenges ahead, sure. But now she knows that no matter what comes, she's strong enough to face it. But as she sits there, in the quiet of the parking lot, a figure approaches. Someone she hadn't expected to see. It's Michael. Please, Eliza, just let me explain, Michael says, his voice barely audible in the cold night air. Eliza stares at him, her eyes narrowing. She wants to feel pity for him, to believe that he's truly sorry, but she can't. Not anymore. Not after everything. You don't get to explain yourself, she says, her voice firm. You made your choice, and now I'm making mine. Michael steps closer, his hands held out in front of him. I never meant to hurt you. I don't know what came over me, I thought. You thought, Eliza interrupts, her voice sharp. You thought locking me out on Christmas Eve was okay. You thought you could just walk away from everything we built. You thought I would just let you get away with it. She shakes her head, her anger rising again. No, I'm done. I'm done with you and your excuses. For a moment there's silence. Then Michael sighs, his shoulders slumping. I screwed up, Eliza. I know I did. I'm sorry. I don't know what to say. Eliza looks at him one last time. Her heart aches, but there's no turning back. "You don't have to say anything," she says, her voice steady. "You've already said enough." As Michael stands there, helpless, Eliza turns and walks toward the door of her car. She opens it and slides inside, closing the door behind her with a firm click. The engine hums to life, and as Eliza pulls away, she doesn't look back. What would you do if you were in Eliza's shoes? Would you forgive Michael, or would you walk away like she did? Let me know in the comments below. Your thoughts might just inspire someone else. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications to never miss a story that inspires and empowers. Share your thoughts in the comments and be part of a community that lifts each other up. You're not alone.